They say love is easy when it's right, but anyone who's actually been in it knows it's more of a beautiful, chaotic work in progress. Welcome to Totally in Love, the podcast where we skip the fairy tales and dive into the real, messy, and wonderful side of human connection.
Felt like they were railroaded in a manner in which they had to teach the kids essentially to the test. You know, if the kids don't pass, then there are consequences, and they look at the teacher and they say the teacher is not doing X, Y, and Z, and then they'll look at the leadership, and leadership is not doing X, Y, and Z. So then, it becomes that's when it becomes systemic. When we thought we were going to school to be educated, but it wasn't until we got grown that we realized our education system, it wasn't designed to really educate us.
Yeah.
Jeremy, I want to speak to something really quick. I saw a video this week, and it was about the teacher. She said that she has students who will start off at the beginning of the year. For whatever reason, they'll disappear for the majority of the school year. And then at the end, they'll show up and they want to do the work. And then it's like, she's like, no, you're going to fail. And they're like, I can do the work. And she was saying that it's not about the end result of the work. It's not about from A to Z. It's from B to X, Y. And that's like all of that in between is where the real learning happens. Can you expound on that?
Absolutely. And I mean, and to your point, the learning is not just textbook. It's relationship building. It's communication.
Yes.
It's the accountability in the 9 months that you spend. I like to tell my kids that if you see how a pregnant woman's body work, it could teach you great wisdom. How a mother carries that baby for 9 months, naturally for 9 months, give or take. I understand it, but essentially we're talking about 9 months in school. You got 2 semesters, and it's going to be 9 months. And during that 9 months, you're expected to get your checkup. You're expected to go for the exams, and you could pass or fail. You can, your numbers could be great, they can be poor. But during that process, you're developing a relationship with somebody who is going to be at the end.
That's good.
Who's all the way from the beginning to the end. So it's not about passing and failing tests. It's about keep coming back. It's about the following of the instruction, because I know there's scripture that talks about that if you love me, you will do basically what I tell you to do. Just follow the instructions. Yeah. Go put water in the vessels and bring them back.
That's good.
That's all you got to do.
That's good. Oh my God, that's good. This generation, I just want to interject. Like I've been following and watching in these younger, like the alpha generation and on. It's a bottom line, right? It's like, I just want to meet the quota, the check mark. Like you said, it's the destination. And even us, I know we sometimes like, let's just get there. But it's so much in the journey, and what you said about that pregnancy and the swelling and the expectancy and the relationship skills that you have to learn with people and the conflict resolution and the things that they don't, if we're honest, I'm not trying to put them down. They don't have that. Like they might master a lot of different things. They might go and study on their own and have this X, Y, and Z and can build and create and have all the things behind the scene, but they suck at relationships. And that is so important because you need that even in business. Like, anyway, I love that analogy that you used. Thank you so much. We just jumped right in, guys. If y'all just joining us, this has been meaty already. Thank you for joining us. Our guest is Jeremy Crane. You know us. It's the hostess with the mostest. This is Nicole Wilson and
Anja.
And we are totally in love. We're doing season 4 in a big way. The man, the myth, the legend, Jeremy Crane is here to talk all things mental health and well-being. And we had just jumped right in. Anja, keep it flowing.
So first of all, Jeremy, we started the conversation and we went in hard. So editing, whatever, who cares? This is about real life.
Run it.
We need to know who is Jeremy. Who is Jeremy Crane? Where are you from originally? What's your story? What's your background?
Wow. Well, very simple. I'm a servant. I'm a servant of the Most High, and a follower of the way. I'm a proud native of College Park, Georgia, born and raised. I moved briefly to Fort Valley, but that was for school. I went to Fort Valley State University,
HBCU,
where I got where I got my middle grades education degree. I came out, jumped straight into the classroom as a middle school English teacher, so English, social studies, math teacher. Did that for a little minute before I worked for 10 years in a private school running their nonprofit arm that was designed to put middle school students on a 6-year path to college, known as Breakthrough Atlanta. It's a wonderful organization where I learned so much so where when my time was done there, I started my own program that was designed to put middle school boys on a 6-year path to entrepreneurship, using the same methods and strategies that I learned in that 10-year endeavor that I took at the private school. So it's in that learning, going back to your point, it's not the A and the Z. While I was there, I was able to see so much that you just don't see on that side. I was a student at this school. I graduated from high school from this school and came back, and I worked there. I served there for 10 years. The perspectives are just, it was what I needed to go where I need to go. And that's to my community, particularly of men, young men who are looking for their space, their
I have
niche.
a question.
Yeah.
Where did all of this racial self-esteem come from? Where did all of this focus and this desire to upbuild men that look like you or young boys like you? Where did it all come from? Where did it stem from?
I can't take credit for it because I'm not the stem. I'm a leaf or a fruit that fell off the tree, or in my case, I'm the nut that fell off the tree. Because I'm crazy about it now. And I look back and I look at the men in my family. I'm the youngest of 3 boys. Both of my brothers are both men of Omega Psi Phi fraternity. My dad, and that's kind of where it stops as far as the direct influence. Now, I have uncles, and my grandfather, who just passed last February, he has between my grandfather and my grandmother, my late grandmother, who passed in 2009, they had 10 kids. My mom is one of 10. So imagine being the grandfather of, like, Abraham. You know, he got a lot of grandkids, great grandkids, so many that when in his final days, when, you know, dementia, it was only a few names that he knew.
Okay.
And mine was one of them.
Aww, that's really sweet.
It was. And it was something that I would cherish, because he had very few words on his way out. It was only a few words he can say. And instead of saying my name, like my dad, old country, Jim. That's how he say my name, Jim. So instead of trying to say Jim, he called me that boy. So that boy was my name. But just seeing how different it was when Big Mama was here. Everybody came to Big Mama house after church. We come and eat dinner, and everybody from the neighborhood. It don't matter if you kinfolk or not. You come make your plate, put some foil on it. We see you next week after church. You're gonna do the same thing. All the kids. It was every single Sunday. It was without fail, you know. And then when Big Mama passed, it was like, where did the family go? And it was just like, it just made me think about just as a man, that's kind of but we're built for that, you know. We're built for that, and I think I had to see that, and kind of appreciate where I am in my walk as a parent, knowing that I'm raising my children to one day not be with me anymore or not need me anymore, you know? And I think that's the part of fatherhood that we're missing in the communities, where we are raising right now. Our boys are being raised by their mothers to be raised to be strong the best way they can, and you know, and it's hard for a woman to teach a man how to be a man, but psychologically you're teaching this young man how to live without a man. And that's a lesson that should be taught by a man and not a woman.
That's we got to unpack a little bit.
Yeah, I know, because it's like so much that you just said.
That's what you asked where it stemmed from, but it's just the legacy that I have the opportunity to be a part of now that I know my history a little better. I didn't know my great grandfather's name. I don't know his father's name. I don't know. It's a lot that I don't know that far back, but I have enough men close to me to see how they are, and take that, and it's almost like I'm trying to run to the kids and be like, listen, I don't have that much time, but I'm gonna tell you as much as I can with the little time that I was given. And you can use it however way you want to, because I know that nobody told me this when I was in middle school, when I was in high school. Nobody came in here and really told me, look me eyeball to eyeball and tell me that they love me or that they see me or they care about me. And they know that, yeah, I know I'm a knucklehead. It's like, I just feel like I owe this.
I want to say this just to interject, because I have had the honor and privilege to work with you through education and see at work. And I'm not saying this. I say this because I when I say it, I mean it with everything in me. I know when real recognize real, like they say, like, so I to see you at work, even with your partnership, the lady that comes in, great work, but it's nothing like a man and a Black man showing up week after week, right? Showing up on time, showing up, coming, 60, 70 miles away to work with children and to work with boys to maybe 7 o'clock in the morning or whatever, midday, but still the commitment and the level of consistency and the rich experiences that you create for those students, that they believe when they walk away, wow, this Black man does work me. And it's brown boys, it's Black boys, it's white boys, it's whomever, but you're creating psychological safety to be able to unpack a little bit. And if they never say anything, because some of them never said anything through our experience, they would have known that they are seen and heard. And that someone, because you said to them, it might make them feel uncomfortable, but you said it with such a authenticity, and it wasn't, kids, so no homo, it wasn't nothing. It was just, I love you. Period. And we're creating something here. We're establishing family. We're creating a place where you can come and be seen and heard and felt. And even if you're wrong, you're going to be corrected in love. And something else I wanted to say about, but that is such a wealthy place that men don't get. So please understand how wealthy you are to be able to translate that currency to these young boys. Like, that is so rich.
Well, I can't take credit for that. I'm not the resource. I am a resource. That's it. But I'm not the source. And it's an honor, and I appreciate you for allowing me to come and giving me the space to come in and and really instill those values into those boys at such an early time in the morning, where nobody's really trying to lock in the way we were. We had those boys locked in, and that's what, to me, that's worth the 60 miles. It's worth 6 o'clock in the morning, man, and just these kids. I mean, again, 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
The parents
And
don't even know. I mean, it's just the
They
level
will
of trust.
come.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's just the trust that goes. I mean, I'm going back to the trust thing because they're so young, and the language barrier, the culture barrier, black bald head man that coming in or off the street, like it's kind of a risk. It's kind of a risk, but
and I will say this one more time. I know, Audrey, you got to get it, but I have to get you to see this. Like, thank you for being the conduit, but in that owning that you chose to show up that way because you didn't have to. So owning that, yes, I chose to. So be celebrated, please, in the fact that you chose to show up that way. And again, even this black man, he didn't have to learn the language. He's speaking to them in Spanish. I'm saying, I don't think you know how phenomenal you are, but I just wanted to give credit when honor where honor and credit is due.
It takes phenomenal to recognize phenomenal. That's how I feel about
it. So as you were sharing your story, and I know, I'm guessing you're Gen X, right? Gen X, elder millennial.
I am the senior class of millennials.
Okay.
So I'm like the first one.
Got it. And I said this for a reason because we're all the cusp. You know, what do they call it? Zennial. Between 1976, 1980, I think it's 1985 and 1986.
Okay, yeah,
and it's the micro generation. And I'm saying this because it's more than just being raised with an analog childhood and a digital, like, kind of adulthood or beginning of adulthood. Is bigger than that. It's also the fact that we grew up with things like Eyes on the Prize, and then went into a world where things were totally different. Things were a lot more integrated. So you said that you were the youngest child of 3 boys, and your family members, they, whether they called you a knucklehead or not, whether they said knucklehead or that boy, the fact that, like, your grandpa with dementia referring to you as that boy, and you know what I'm saying? Like, then during, like, I see you, I know who you are. And that being a foundation of identity for you, because I'm sure if you knew whatever, regardless of what was ever going to go down, you had 2 older brothers, a father and a grandfather, and probably all kind of uncles and stuff like that, because you guys said you guys had dinner every weekend. So that is paramount to the work that it sounds like you do. Like, from what you guys are describing, the work that you do in helping these young men to establish identity, whereas before you may not have had the soft words. Our generation didn't necessarily get the soft words, but we got the grit. Not as hard as parents and grandparents grit, but we got a little bit of soft landing, but we were in the middle once again with that micro generation. So now the young boys, you were able to say, hey, I love you, or come give me a hug, and it not be soft or, you know, whatever it could have been. So you were, I just see you as the bridge. You are such a bridge between those 2 things. And it's really cool to see just from hearing you guys talk. Tell us about that.
It's an honor. It's definitely an honor. And I know people would probably assume that what they see, like, is if you go, you know, on the social media, you can easily formulate your own idea of how things are. You know, people will see my videos and assume that I'm one way, but the reality is, for me, is that I wish I would have gotten hugged, you know, as a kid more. Or I wish I was in an environment where I love yous was something that I heard all the time. I grew up in the 80s and the 90s, and my dad is a man's man, and my brother is a boy, 100% boy. And me being the baby and around my mom a lot, I wasn't as tough as they were, and I cried a lot. So I was expected to be everything they were, and I was, and I excelled beyond everything that they did because they were the benchmark for me. So I kind of lost myself in trying to fill shoes my whole life. When if somebody would just been like, Jeremy, you are unique, you are beautiful, you are intelligent. You don't have to measure up to what they did or what they're doing. You have your own, you know. However, you know, it's kind of like it's a catch to it because there's some safety in that. And when you're dealing with children don't express that they're insecure. They act it out, you know, like food insecurities. You got kids that come to school and cut up because they're insecure about where their next meal is coming from. Wow. Or they're insecure about their clothes smelling like the past 2 weeks. So they do things, they're acting out and they don't actually say it. Yeah. It's people who have the ulterior motives because they're insecure. That's why I love working with kids because I can work with them. Like I can work with something like what grown folk is too hard to try to help. It's grown people are hard.
They are.
They are hard. But kids are easier to read, and when you see the signs, if you love them, do what you're supposed to do. Like do like you would.
Asking.
Yeah, it's just so much easier. And I just remember as a boy, young growing up, it was a lot of family, but it wasn't a lot of I love yous. I knew the love was there because the family was always together. I guess I associated we're always together. We like a gang. We're the biggest family in the church. Everywhere we went, everybody like, dang, who are they? And so it was no question, you know, whether we're a family or not. But when we get to the schools and we spend no time talking about family values, I ask these kids, what are your values at home? They're like, huh? Yeah, what are your values? Now, I know that traditional, normal families, we all value love and time and respect and loyalty. But those things have to be articulated. It's almost like when you're talking about mental wellness, if you can't identify it, you can't address it. You can't solve it. You know, it can't be, you have to say our values is accountable. You know, one of them is accountability.
That's good.
You know?
Yeah.
Like we have to be on the same page, and that's what makes this a relationship because we hold each other accountable for these values. And when you have kids that, you know, when they go home, their family is mom or auntie or grandma or big sis or the big homie, or it's not like I grew up. And I was so ungrateful. I was so ungrateful, but I was very fortunate that my mom and dad, they stayed together when I felt like at times they shouldn't have been together, but they're still together after 50 years.
Yeah.
Well, that's a value right there. Longevity
of marriage. Yeah.
Stick-to-itiveness.
Yeah.
But I love that because I heard a pastor say, and I think it might have been many, but Pastor Creflo-Dollar, I believe, was one of the first people I heard say, consider what is your family mission? What is your family vision? Like, treat it like a business. So to me, I'm hearing what you're saying. If you want it to be successful, I always think about it as like, I'm on your team. I want to play to win. If you know anything about sports, like we can't be against each other. We're playing
to win the game.
Yes. So how do we do that? We have to kind of study the playbook. We have to have a conversation. Like, this is your strength. This is my strength. This is where I'm kind of like weak. What can we do to fill in the gaps?
I literally go in the classroom and I draw a line on the board and I say, every single day every morning you wake up, you choose which side you want to be on. On one side of that line, I put life. On the other side of that line, I put death. And I say, you remember we used to go to the park and used to get to choose teams, shooting team captains and yeah. That's what life and death is doing every single day. And you get to choose which side you want to be on. And just know that what side you on, you got to know who your partners are. Because on the life, you got to draw the picture for them. Because on the life side, you got love. On the death side, you got hate. On the light side, you have respect. On the deaf side, you have disrespect. On the light side, you have intellect. On the deaf side, you have ignorance. And I'll draw this whole list of dualities, if you will, where they're able to recognize the characters and associate them with life or death. The power of the tongue. Yeah. You can choose which side. When you wait, just know that whatever side that you pick, that there is a arch enemy, a sign specifically. When you decide that you're gonna be respectful today, please believe disrespect is pulling up. And when you're able to kind of, I like to gamify situations for the kids. You know, when you're able to, when I say gamify, turn it into almost like a game where there's competition, because it's important that they are able to recognize the enemy. They don't know who the enemy is.
Do they have sports like that still in schools like that?
I mean, they have competitive sports, like, you know, kids still play, you know, those sports.
Like at recess and stuff?
They have like after school, where schools compete against each other. Now I'm sure they still have the recess and the, you know, PE. But as far as the competition is concerned, even when when they're playing for these teams, they don't have time to get into the philosophy of teamwork and what makes a team a good team. And now they're just showing up, trying out, and they're just trying to do the best that they can with the little time that they're given.
And everybody's shining. Like even with the sport of soccer, I noticed that everybody's aggressive, and it's just my shine. It's what I got going on.
Right.
We know that does not make a good team.
No. And that makes sense. I asked the question because I while you were talking, I thought about like, okay, in gym class, like high school or even elementary or middle school, how much, without knowing it, because it's not like you're being taught a lesson on life here, but like camaraderie, working together, one person's strength versus another person's weakness versus their strength, like all of that, I learned it, but now it was a different time too. You know what I'm saying? I do think that, as Nicole just said, it's more like everybody wants to shine now. So I always wonder how that is working out for the kids these days, for the youth.
But I will say at my elementary level, just to answer your question, maybe every school is different, but I know our coach has established he always does a lot of different tournaments. And one of the big tournaments that the kids actually enjoy, but they feel stressed from, especially the ones that I noticed that want to talk to me, they're anxious about the performance piece, but he does volleyball tournaments. So,
I used to love volleyball. Yeah, that's awesome. Another question that I had when you were speaking this piece, and I was curious because you do belong to a fraternity. You want to say the name of the fraternity?
So I've never really broached this topic.
Got it.
Do tell.
No, but I mean, it's okay, because the fact of the matter is,
do tell.
I do want to be respectful, and I want to be. I don't ever want to come off as ungrateful for my experience in my associations with certain organizations, not just my fraternity, because I'm very grateful for everything that my experience has afforded me, because I wouldn't be the person that I am today had I not gone.
That is literally what I was, that right there is literally what I was asking, how much of that experience went into what you were doing now. That is literally right there.
Yeah. Now, if I had to do it all over again, would I do it? Hell no, to the no, hell to the no.
Okay, all right.
I wouldn't. I mean, and the reason why is because if I was able to go back, knowing what I know now and what I can do for myself, and for my people in my community. Take that same energy, those same resources, that same enthusiasm, and let's go back to my family. Okay, let's go back to my neighborhood, and let's build brotherhoods in the communities of people who have the same values, who when it's time to vote for local officials, who are going to show up because we have the same values and we're not, showing, you know what I'm saying? It's so much. It's so much to unpack.
Got it.
But going back to even just my family, that question you asked, where this thing stem from, I feel like I'm a part of a brotherhood that no matter how much time pass, whatever, the natural vicissitudes of life, the ebbs and flows, I can always pick up the phone and call my brothers or my dad. My mom's out of town, and I usually go to my parents' house to see mom and dad. And mom's out of town, but guess what? I'm still going to see my dad.
Yeah.
And those are relationships that I cherish more now because my dad is in his 70s. Last year I probably buried 4 people that I know personally. I mean, in my age bracket, who I grew up with, that I've known for decades, and these people are dying with like heart attacks, strokes. Like what? I mean, we're not even 50 yet. My mom and dad, they're in their 70s now. So I'm so grateful to have these, like you said earlier, you said wealthy. What makes me wealthy? It's these relationships. And it used to be about money. It used to be about the money. And money used to really define how happy I'm going to be. But now that I'm doing what I'm doing, and it's almost like I'm carving a path for myself, because I really don't see anybody doing what I'm doing. At least not where I am, but I'm inspired to do it. So much more so now that I'm like you said, 60 miles. That's a long way to travel to work. And I know people who go further for jobs that they don't even like.
Yeah.
So it's so worth it, and it's so needed.
Yeah.
Knowing that these kids show up every single day and they can go all day without having a single person to say, "Come here, boy. I love you and I care about you." No, it may come with a headlock. But it'll also come with a sausage, egg, and cheese sandwich. Because I know you're hungry.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm so grateful. Omega Psi Phi fraternity, whether it's what's another organization? Oh, the Christian community. I was raised in a Christian household, but I don't identify with that organization at all.
Is it denominations, or what are we speaking?
Any religion. There's no religion because when you said the fraternity that you belong to, and I kind of looked the way that I did because I belong to the Most High, and I truly believe that nobody should know that I'm associated with any other entity, organization, or community before that they know that I'm associated with the Most High. People walk in with their paraphernalia on now, and you know that they're AKAs, or he a Q, and it's like you don't even know. I feel like that's idolatry. The first thing first, you need to know what my heart is. And it's not with a fraternity. It's not with an organization. It's not with a religion. It's not even with my family. I'm a married man. I'm a husband. I'm a father. But before all of that, I'm a follower of the Most High. And if you don't, if you don't know that first, then anything else that you know about me is idolatry. I just feel like it's out of line. So that's just me. No. And that's just the path that I'm on, and I'm not trying to discourage nobody. I know people renounce their letters and and they call it all kind of things. And we can have that conversation later. But like I said, I always want to respect my experience, because they didn't have to let me in. But I learned a lot. I learned a lot, and it's reflected in the programs that I run with the boys, because the methods they're effective to this day. So yeah, you won't hear me say nothing bad about them. It's just I can't let anybody own me anymore. My life is bought with a price.
It's a journey, right? Yeah. But I was just gonna say, and I respect, because people are doing what they call, what is it, deconstruction in their thoughts and their philosophies and what they grew up with versus where they are now. And to a certain extent, it's healthy, right? Like, so I just respect people who will take the journey, because it doesn't always look pretty. But what you're saying is like you're honoring yourself, and you're honoring those that you met along the way. Like, again, it's a part of that wealth. There's a wealth. It's a wealth of knowledge. It's a wealth of people. Everybody probably wasn't on what you was on, but at the end of the day, you gained from it.
Yeah, and it's not just about me. It's not about me. At the end of the day, it's much bigger than me.
Absolutely.
And for me to gain, and nobody else around me is gaining, it's like when we say totally in love, like love is giving. Love is not taking. Love is obeying. Like scripture says, obedience is better than sacrifice. So I would much rather operate from a place where the resources are endless. You never run out of love. Right. Why else? Well, I'm not doing it for money. I don't really. Money, yes, answers a lot of questions. And it's just I talk about money a lot because it's always in our face, and that's what our kids, it's like it's not about the money, and money is like the dollars is not even real money. We're not even dealing with real money anymore.
But it sounds like you're talking about motivation. So what motivates you? What drives you? It doesn't sound like you're saying money doesn't drive you, whereas a lot of people are motivated and driven by money.
Yeah, people are killing over it. People are dying over it every single day.
I was going to ask, what are some of the things that the kids are talking about these days? Like, what's on their minds?
When I have the opportunity to connect with my boys, I'm usually in the room with 20 to 25 boys at one time. I have a very specific agenda when I get in there, and I'm so locked in on what I'm trying to do and get accomplished in this hour that I get. It's very rarely do I get to sit down and just say, what are our priority? What y'all on? I mean, I hear their language all the time, and it's just sometimes I'm not ready to really concede with the idea that we owe. We owe, man. And it's like when the kids feel like they can say certain things around you because you don't know the lingo, like they're surprised when they know that hey, don't let this gray hair fool you, man. I know what y'all saying. I know all the abbreviations, and I hear enough of the rap music to it's terrible. And I know that they consume this music, and it's like I used to listen to it to stay kind of abreast, but it's so toxic, and I can't really even spend time or the space or allow the room for that kind of stuff. I come in laser focused, like, look, we're going to do this love thing. You can choose if you're going to be on this side or not. You can't be no punk. You can't be scared. And you can't be unsure after whether you're going to do this or not. I told you this is not for everybody. So if you're going to get down, get down. If not, get out.
Wow.
I'm serious. I'm serious. And when they look at me like, and then when I put the first one out, they be like, okay, yeah, he's serious. That's why I always invite more, because I like to lead with the. I know you probably heard this, that many are called, but only few are chosen. And so I like to get a lot of kids in the room, because there are going to be some knuckleheads in there. That's a given. You're going to have knuckleheads, and those are the ones that you use for everybody to be able to see. Like, he ain't playing. And most of the time, that's really all it takes, is just one.
Right.
Because the boys, they want it. They want structure.
Yeah.
You know, they may act like they're trying to be tough and trying to be cool, but they actually want structure. You know, they may thrive in chaos. They enjoy the energy, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the girls, I mean, it's almost the girls are just chomping at the bit. It's just a matter of time before we do the girls program, because I had a girls group in elementary school, and I was almost ashamed to say that the girls had an edge on the boys.
Of course.
And it's just like, I certainly didn't.
Right.
I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that. But I feel like the girls were able to see what the boys were doing and were like, we can top that. So I kind of feel like the girls had an edge, because they were able to see the energy that I was at least trying to do with the boys. And the girls are like, well, what the one thing that the girls have over the boys is their willingness to comply. You know, the girls ain't trying to be cool. The girls really come in, and the girls will do anything to please their teacher or their leader. The boys, it's like you gotta chase them down. They're hitting each other. They're trying to be funny. They're trying to impress each other. The girls is like, they get this relationship thing. They get this communication thing. I can tell them to do something one time, and they do it. I'm like, God, y'all so much.
That's girls for you.
Yeah. But there's a certain fragility that comes with working with girls that I think that can only be accomplished by a woman. I feel like I could navigate, but I can't. I'm not gonna say I can't, but I would prefer having a female counterpart. If we were to build that program, I would prefer to have that female counterpart to lead that, and I could be a part of it and kind of still bring that energy in the program. But just like I feel like it takes a man to teach a man how to be a man, it takes a woman to teach a woman how to be a woman.
Speaking of women, let's open up that. Let us in. Like, we want to come through here if you would allow us, because
absolutely.
We talk all things love. At the root of what we do is God, because He is love. But we also talk relationally and relationships and romance, because the people want to hear it, and the people want it, and they should, because it's a gift. So take us down this road of, you said you got the ring on, you open up for us. How did you find the love of your life? What's going on?
Man, I met this girl. She moved to Atlanta 4 years ago. She got here March 28th. We met April 2nd at a Caribbean restaurant. And while we were sitting there, it was the conversation we were having, from the things that we talked about, starting with the father. I mean, she came already packaged with her relationship in order. We talked about family. She wanted a child. She's mid-30s, ain't got no kids. I'm like, what? Like, come here, girl. Let me holler at you right quick. Black woman, natural. I mean, reminds me a lot of my mom, and that wasn't intentional. But, people say she looks like my mom. That's crazy, and I think that's kind of weird. But she does. But yeah, and she came during a time when I was really open. I was really open. I was in the poly.
Open like that.
Yeah.
Open.
I see. That open. Got it.
That's That's that musician flowing energy. Love you.
That creative.
Them musicians, baby.
Come on, let's hug it out. That was my. I mean, that was I mean, but I'm a love bug, man. I'm in real life. I do love. I tell everybody I love them. I love hugs. Hugs are for free. Oftentimes, my friendliness is misinterpreted. But at the end of the day, I can control my pants. You know, it's like you can do whatever you want to do. I'm the one. I got this. You know. So, but I still have to be careful. You know, because some people just don't. But I ain't got time. I'm just.
So you were okay. So you were poly, and she was like on point.
She was not only on point, but she wasn't from Atlanta, and that was the thing. And I'm like, "How long you been here?" She's like, "She just got here." And I'm like, "So you ain't talking to nobody?"
Where was she from?
And I'm like, "St. Louis, man. She from St. Louis."
Got it.
Same difference.
Yeah. I didn't know that. I mean, I didn't know that until I learned that Sexy Red from St. Louis, and I'm like, y'all got Sexy Red. Okay. Anyway, but nah, I talk junk about St. Louis, but I'm still learning. But like I said, that was 4 years ago, and that was after like I said, I was very open. I had a good time, and I knew at some point that good time was going to have to change. You know, I'm getting older, and the things that I'm serious about, I can't be passionate about building communities and brotherhood and holding each other accountable and still, I'm not really building. I see if I can't talk like I really want to talk.
Why not?
Nah. I'm just gonna say, just as chase and tail, as a single man, chase and tail, it's not, you can try to build, but optics play a huge role in opportunities.
Absolutely.
And it's kind of a catch. It's almost like when the moment I got married and I started wearing a ring, it was almost like people just started coming out of
magnet.
But
you just said the duality and stuff. If you choose the straight way, then
I know. And it's like it's almost like people who, if I wasn't married, I'm like, where you been?
Wouldn't even been paying attention to you.
What? I'm like, man, I feel like,
But my question is, what was it about this young lady? I know she was out of town. She was different. She probably didn't have no kids. But what made you, as a man who was used to living a certain lifestyle, be like, I can't live without her? What was it she said or didn't say to make you be like, wait, I can't live without her?
Lock it up.
Well, it wasn't that I couldn't live without her. It was more that I wanted her to live with me. And as long as she can live with me, I'm never leaving. That's just how I am. I'm built like that anyway. I ain't going nowhere. I ain't never leaving. But I just have to be very careful on who I make that type of commitment with. Mm-hmm. But when it was like, with every conversation, there was growth. Every interaction, there was, it was growing. And why would you want to stop that momentum? Again, she's a natural Black woman. She ain't got no kids. She ain't on the run. I was 39. I'm 5 years her senior. So, I'll be 44 this year. Mm-hmm. And she'll be 39. Yeah. So I was at an age where, again, like I knew you got to do something. You got to do something. And I ain't even gonna lie. The women, the situationship that I was in before I met her, I told them, I was like, yeah, y'all in my wife's spot.
Excuse me. Yeah.
I said, y'all are in her spot. And that was January 2022. I met my wife March. It was 2 months later. When they moved out, I met her 2 months later. I was still driving one of their vehicles.
Oh God.
Okay. Yeah. But that's how drastic it was. And that's how drastic it was.
We need to hear this. I'm talking about but people want to know.
Man, their stuff was still here. Like I was still
their stuff, like y'all was all living together.
Yeah, we all had homes, and just.
Well, yeah,
but they were still they're like all of it. Oh yeah, because you did say it was poly. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, and one of them had kids. Well, I had a kid too, but he lived with his mom in Nashville. She took him, so it was kind of like once she took him, and that's the thing. I bought this house when I was raising my oldest son. I was pretty much a full-time dad. And having him is what really drove me to pursue the field that I'm in.
Nice.
When she was pregnant, I knew I had to do something, and I got the job that I got and the experience that I had, which opened the door for like what I'm doing now. But at the heart, if you see what I went through with my oldest son and his mother, you would see why my program exists.
Got it.
Evolution.
So going back to the young lady who you were like, you don't want her to leave your house because of the growth and all of those kind of things, because honestly, it was about what you had felt, how you were evolving. Did you see at all how her life was changing because you were a presence in there?
I think I was so in love. I was so blinded that how I might have been affecting her life. I don't even know if I even had a radar for it. I mean, I can see now. I can see clearly. I can clearly see. I mean, she had needs, and so did I. And she found peace in my space, and I found peace with her in my space. So it was like our needs met each other. So it was just the best match that I've had. We have very, very different personalities. We're like night and day. I mean, I'm the extrovert bouncing off the wall, and she's like a house mouse. She has the capacity to entertain, and it's beautiful. I mean, she's also musical. She can sing. I mean, she sings better than me. But she would prefer to be in her pajamas with her bonnet on, in the comforter of her home, and I get to be the man to provide it. So that's that.
I'm gonna ask this question, but I'm circling back. But I think this is so important, to be honest, to the women. I'm gonna say women, but young ladies and women that still need the level of fathership and mentorship that you have. I'm pulling on your gift because where you were in the headspace, where you were at the crossroads, if you will, you drew the line, choose this day. I'm gonna come back to your words. Death, life. Come on, this is in this relationship. You have a decision to make. What were the standards that she set? What were her non-negotiables that made you pivot? Because you had a choice, and I get that you have some self-governance and you decide, but there was something about this woman that set a standard and said you could stay or leave.
Well, one main one was that it was no sex before marriage. I'm like, oh Lord.
Come on.
Standards.
Come on. That's what I'm asking. I'm coming for it. Let's go.
Do you not know how many women I kicked out of my house for those standards?
For having those same standards?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it was automatic. See, my thing, and it's not having those standards. It's trying to establish them while you're in bed with me, in my bed, in my house. Why are you here? Like now what? Get out. And it was just that simple. And
was she the first one that said that to you
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah. It was one in college, but I was college. I'm like, girl, bye. I mean, I was like, yeah, no. And now I look back and it's like she's great. She's great. I mean, and I know, and there are other girls who probably would have been the same way. They just didn't say that to me. It was just I knew that's how they were, and I'm on to the next. Like, I'm not even gonna waste your time. And that was another thing. I was known for a lot, but I've never been known to be a liar. I love telling the truth because it gives me it gives you the opportunity to decide if you want to stay, and if you stay, I know you're down.
Question. Did you ever have a reputation as being well, you already said it, you did. You had the reputation, or how you are now is very loving. Were you ever kind of known as being the fun party guy?
That's to a fault.
Yeah.
To a fault.
Yeah. Okay. So,
yeah,
and I'm hearing it. I'm hearing this, and I'm looking at it, and I'm seeing it. I'm like, okay, homegirl had no idea because she wasn't from here.
She had no clue.
You see how that works? I love it.
She had no clue. I'm trying to plug in a laptop before it dies while we're talking. So
okay.
No worries.
Moving around a bit.
No worries.
But I'm so glad that you opened that up for the audience, because I think it is so important for us to stand by our boundaries, stand by our standards, especially as women, and at the cost of losing what maybe look like loss.
Yeah,
it's okay, because that's a self-honoring, self-respecting thing that we have to do. And so I just appreciate you sharing that.
She wasn't playing, and I tried. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I tried, and I mean, it got tough. So, needless to say, I didn't wait long to marry her. I met her April 2nd, and we got married May 2nd of the same year.
Come on now. So a month later?
Yeah. So
that was the standard, or that was something that both of you came to? Like, what was
Nah. So, like I said, when we met, on the day I met her, the day we met face to face, after we sat and talked, we had dinner, or we had lunch, we had dessert. We walked, we talked, and I just asked her, I'm like, man, how you feel about, we just did this for the rest of our life, basically, something like that. She could tell the story better than I can, because it was basically something like that. And I'm like, man, we could do this every day. Okay. Every day. And every day became every day. And now here we are 4 years later, got a going on 3-year-old. And life is lifing,
I love it.
Me too, but
I love it.
I don't know. I feel like if we had sex before we got married, I probably wouldn't have married her.
Really?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this then, and I don't know her journey. Please, I would love to hear her talk. But even with the sexual, because it sounds like you hanging from the chandeliers, 3, this, that, and the other. But I'm saying, as far as her, there sounded like there was a level of purity in her sexual journey. So, what does that look like when you get together?
Well, you have to share that value, and that's the thing. You can't be unequally yoked with someone who don't value purity. If you do, and you expect them to do the same thing, I almost felt a little ashamed, because she's younger than me, but she was so mature in her perspective, and purity it really wasn't on my radar. And she kind of helped me see things that I'm like, well, there are going to be other things in life that I'm not going to see. I'm going to need somebody to help me see those things too. So she's like having a cheat code to some things in life that, just as men, I'm not a details guy. But the devil, that's where the devil is. The devil's in the details, right? Yeah, she's the one. I know she got my back. In that way, and I need somebody like that. And not that I couldn't find nobody, not that I didn't have anybody like that. It's just her, again, that relationship. that relationship that she has with the Father is something that I truly admire. It's not something like I grew up in the Christian. You know how we go to church and everybody churchy until church is over, and then you back to being how you are when you ain't at church.
Yeah.
Man, she like this all the time.
Yeah, I love it.
When Friday evening come, it's Shabbat Shalom. Y'all better sit down.
What does she say is one of what does she say is one of the things that she loved about you the most that made her say yes? Did she ever tell you?
Maybe I should ask her. I don't know, really. Maybe I should ask her that. Like, what made her say yes?
Yeah.
I'm glad she did, but
I'm glad she did too.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad she did, but I could ask and I can follow back up.
Yeah.
I'll follow back up and let y'all know what she said.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This has been awesome.
It most certainly were my looks.
We don't know. Maybe she was like, Lord, I pray for.
Nah, she like light skin, curly hair, man. Nah, man. She like them old Chico DeBarge looking dudes.
Maybe
and she speak full blown. Nah, man.
Maybe when she got to Atlanta, she was like, "No, Lord, I want somebody who's from here, God. I need to be from here. Let them have a little twang."
Oh yeah, he sent her a super Atlanta. Yeah, shout at 18
right.
Call it
balls on right over there.
Oh, Nat, shout it.
That's what she may have asked for. So I
call it pop.
She got it for sure.
I would be very curious, but that was beautiful. Well, you know what? I mean, this has been such a meaty conversation.
Yeah.
We love hearing about what you're doing with the community, what you're doing with young men, boys and men, boys to men, and everything that involves with that, because it's so important. So we actually hope to have you back, and we would love to have her back as well to hear about this beautiful love affair that started and wrapped up in a matter of 2-3 months.
Yeah, y'all would love her. Y'all probably like her more than me. She always steal my friends, man. Everybody like, oh, she's so sweet. Yes, she is the sweetest person I have ever met. And
bring her out.
Anything. She is the sweetest person I have ever met.
I love that.
To this day.
I love that. So Jeremy Crane, you have been amazing, sir. It has been an honor to talk to you today.
Thank you for saying that.
Absolutely. We look forward to having you back. That is it for today, y'all. Once again, I am Anja.
I'm Nicole.
And you know what we say.
Until next time.
Stay totally in love. Yes.